El Nino and many other in there before. And we still have these problems of drainage. And what is required is an effort between the national government and the county to make sure that there is a clear drainage systems that are not clogging. Because the problem probably is that even these overpasses, you might realize that in fact they are also a disaster, because once they broke the outlets, then the water floods in the whole scenario of the road, and which is a clear disaster. And that is a matter that we cannot be left to the county alone. I would say what the national government should do is either to look for resources, top up to the county government, make sure that drainage systems are done and they are clear and are done, well enlarged, because maybe the pathways are those shallow ones. Make them that they are enlarged and make sure that in fact the water can be able to clear without stagnating, because it's a problem that actually we should not wait to see it happening tomorrow. And finally, I would say, in terms of disaster management, we didn't see governor nor the head of state, anybody caring to deal with securing or rescuing those people who are suffering the whole night. We could have seen military or any other force coming out to rescue people.
You have interest, you have ambitions of becoming governor in this city. What would you do different?
What I would do different is what I'm saying, that we must make sure that those exit drainage routes has to be enlarged. And
through a cooperation with the national government.
It is a big business that you must involve the national government, so that you can achieve it one and for all. And you can be sure that there is no stagnation of water. And then we must make sure that the disaster management is available any time to secure people where need be.
All right. Briefly, because there was already a plan on how to cooperate with the national government. It's not even 2 months old. Do you think the national government would have come in through
that? I'm really happy that my friend who is aspiring to be the governor has a convergence of opinion on how Nairobi can be made better. One of that opinion is that the national government and the county government should cooperate so that they make Nairobi a better city. But you know, Nairobi historically was built on almost a riparian land. Is a flat land that really this should have been anticipated, and we should do better. We need to plan this city. You know, when it was done, it was for about 565 people or something. We are now millions of people in this city. We need to replan the city as a country. And the blames really cannot rest squarely on the current governor. That will be a misconception, because it has continuously flooded. The town has continuously flooded. We need to bring serious experts that can redesign and replan and enlarge the city. This city should go up to Machakos, up to where, so that we have a city that functions. We have a city that the people of Kenya as a capital city can see that this is what we want. So we can never overemphasize about the drainage system of the city, but we can do better as a country.
Can definitely do better.
We can definitely do better. We only need to be focused and realize that disaster management should be a full-time job. I only saw the Red Cross people trying to help. But I think the military, myself, I was stuck in a jam for 5 hours, and I moved only 10 meters. But I think the military were brought to help control that jam, and that is how we left the jam. But we should expect this and put a permanent disaster management team that will always act swiftly and help Kenyans to so that we don't have this kind of floods, especially in the slums. Our people died. I want to give my condolences to the Kibra people. Some died on the floods and were taken away. Some people lost their property, not just from the slums, even from other areas. So that Kenyans as a people, we need to plan better.
Final word.
Thank you. I think we can't run away from leadership. Leadership is key. Planning is key. And I like what my colleague has said, is that we need to understand the city under the sun, Nairobi, and how Nairobi originally was. And you see, when you don't plan, then you plan to fail. If you look at the buildings that are coming up, even the structures, we must make sure that you don't block, if it's the pathway to the rivers, or where we are now. I think there's a river that comes from Kiambu Road, and once it gets to around Windsor, and then there are roads, there are structures that have come up, but there's Garden Estate Road that becomes like the main river. The whole river goes straight to the road. So we must do proper planning, and we must also agree this is a capital city. You know, sometimes I had my colleagues say, you know, these people, they are demolishing the markets on the roadsides and everything else. We must agree to do some things that are not popular. We must agree that we'll move the people who are at the riparian or who are next to the rivers. And I thank God that there was a movement that was done before when they started the Nairobi River, because this would have been worse. You know, if the floods came, they could have swept more people who have built next to the rivers. So sometimes we'll do decisions that seem to be unpopular, but will save lives. As we pass our condolences to the families that lost properties, some who lost lives, you know. You even saw, I think there was a joke that was going up, if you had left your car at the garage at Grogan, look for it at Indian Ocean. You know, then it's about a matter of planning. Then if we have garages at Kirinyaga Road, how do we plan for them? Then if we have structures that are built in forms of market along the road, how can we secure those people? We are not chasing them that way, but we secure them somewhere that is safe, where I can walk. I know sometimes, I think there is Vasha, people will go to Naivasha to watch Safari Rally. So you don't have to be next to the road for people to come and buy. If I know my market is a few meters away, I'll walk in and buy whatever I need to buy. So not necessarily that everybody must be on the road. So sometimes we'll do unpopular might be moves or decisions, but we secure Nairobi. Nairobi must do proper planning. As we have mentioned, must do the drainage. As we even do the construction of the roads, I think you saw disaster on the expressway and the water coming down, and there was that whole thing flooding. We must make sure, even when it's not raining, that there is constant, you know, unclogging of the drainage, because I saw people using the sticks to try and, you know, open up the drainage. So the drainage system is there, but it's blocked. Right. So let us do proper planning. We must do unpopular, and I know my friend here wants to become the governor of Nairobi, but if you just want to let status quo be, but you don't want to move. You don't want people to move.
We cannot excuse bad leadership.
We cannot excuse bad leadership.
Right.
Yes, it's a matter of the
so
coalition between the national government and the county government, but we must up our game for
Thank you so much, Madam Sabina Chege, nominated MP, James Gakuya, MP Embakasi North, and Peter Orero, MP Kibra. Thank you so much for your time at TV47 and helping us look at the headlines. Azimio, that ODM, UDA, PG, and of course what's happening to the city, matters floods. Yes, after the break, talking about modern love, one is never enough, yeah? This is a question we're asking you, if we can have it on the screen. Yes. Has cheating simply become more normalized in today's society?